What would you do if you had $1 million to give away? And how could you even put yourself in a position to give $1 million in your lifetime? That means before you die, so you can see the impact it's going to have. I want to give a quick shout out to my podcast manager, Abby. If you're in need of help in launching and managing your own show, please reach out to her at productions@abbygwaki.com. I'll put her details in the show notes. She really is the best, and I love her. Well, hello, y'all. This is episode 100. I cannot believe we are at episode 100 of the Quiet Wealth podcast. And I'm your host, Camilla, and I am so excited for this new chapter for Quiet Wealth. Over this last year, we've pumped out 100 episodes, and all of it has just been about how to build wealth, how to build businesses, how to leave a legacy. And now with episode 100, the title of this is How to Give $1 Million in Your Lifetime. It's not how to make $1 million. We're taking it well beyond making $1 million. And we're going to ask and answer these questions about what would you do if you had $1 million to give away? And how could you even put yourself in a position to give $1 million in your lifetime? That means before you die, so you can see the impact it's going to have on the lives of others. So we're going to talk about this, and I have a very specific but simple strategy that I'll explain at the end on how you can give away $1 million. But first, in celebration of episode 100, I wanted to give a shout out to Chris Facey, who left a review on our podcast. And he says, this is quickly becoming my favorite business/investment related podcast. I've found many gems related to real estate investments, really expanded my world a lot, how to hire, how to think about money for my family, and specifically my son. I love the actionable ideas I've gotten from listening. My favorite part is they're quick, only 15 to 30 minutes, and clearly edited to keep them moving along. Super professional job. Camilla is a baller. Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate that review. And to you, my listener, if you could do me a quick favor and go and put a review in Apple Podcasts for me, if you just find Quiet Wealth on Apple Podcasts, scroll down to the bottom, you can leave us a review. It makes a huge difference. This is the best gift that you could give me by putting out a review, an honest review. I'm really interested in your honest review because my whole intention behind this podcast is to help you. It's not about helping me. This is about helping you to be able to do what you want to do and build wealth, build a business, leave a legacy. So let's jump into this whole episode about giving away $1 million. And first, let me back up a little bit. I want to tell you the story about how this thought came about. I have a partner, Ruzanna Queenan, and she and I are launching Primetime Wealth Academy. And in fact, this podcast episode is going to launch the same week that we're launching our new YouTube channel. So go check that out. Also, Primetime Wealth on YouTube. And we're going to be putting all of our podcast episodes there in addition to other daily episodes. We're ambitious, 5 episodes a week. So 5 YouTube videos a week are going to land, and we're just going to pump out content because we really want to help you put together your own financial plan to build amazing amounts of wealth and to do good with that money. She and I were talking about how can we serve women in our community more. And we really serve women who are in their 40s and 50s who are starting to be in transition and from, kids leaving the house and now life is more about them. Typically you have money and you're trying to figure out how can I really maximize my wealth building so that I can retire and enjoy my life. And you could retire at any time. You don't have to wait till you're 65 or 75 or 80. You could have the amount of money that you need to live off of for forever. So she and I are trying to work through different ways to be able to help you and to teach you the strategies that we have used to become millionaires ourselves, and also that we are using to set up ourselves for financial security for life. As we were talking, we really wanted one arm of this, one piece of this. We kind of were trying to come up with pillars of how we're going to talk about this. And we wanted one of them to be a giving pillar, because we know that that is really important. It's really important to both of us to be givers. A really great book called The Go Giver out there. If you want to go grab that book and read it, super awesome. The more you give, the more you get. And it's really interesting how the universe and how God works like that the more we give, the more we're going to get back. So she and I were talking about, well, how can we really help people give more? And, one of us was like, wouldn't it be so cool if we could give away $1 million in our lifetime before we died? I know a lot of people wait till they die and then all of their money gets given, but how cool would it be to be able to give while you're still alive and to make a big difference in people's lives? And so this is what we've been ruminating on, is this whole idea of how do we help women build enough wealth so that they can give away $1 million and create massive impact in the world. So I wanted to start and talk to you about a couple of celebrities who give big. I mean, Oprah Winfrey, she is a former talk show host. She's a current billionaire media mogul, right? And she has really used her fame and the affluence that comes with it to funnel hundreds of millions of dollars into organizations and charities. So, I mean, when Hurricane Katrina happened, she donated $10 million to that. She has donated $50 million on education, healthcare, and advocacy for women and children worldwide. It's so amazing that what she has been able to do. Another example is the Obamas. I mean, during their years in the White House, the Obamas donated over $1 million to various charities. And, about 54% of the money went toward causes for children. They also announced that they were donating $2 million to summer jobs programs in Chicago. And so the Obamas are really giving right now. Another, J.K. Rowling. I am a huge Harry Potter fan. Love what she's built. I love all the books. I love all the movies. I love the theme park, everything that has to go with it. We love Harry Potter at this house. She became the first author ever to make the Forbes billionaire list because of her Harry Potter empire. But you know what's interesting? She actually dropped off the list because she donated about $160 million. And that made her drop off the billionaire list. But that didn't bother her. And she says, you have a moral responsibility when you've been given far more than you need to do wise things with it and give intelligently. One more example I want to tell you about is Rob Hale. So Rob Hale runs Granite Telecommunications. And for the past year, he and his wife, Karen, have been on a very unique mission of gifting $1 million a week to small nonprofits for 52 weeks straight. How incredible is that? And he says, we're blessed. We're very fortunate. And our belief is that we should extend those good tidings as deeply into the community as much as possible. And then it's interesting that they chose to donate $1 million to small nonprofits because the impact of their giving is really being felt. I mean, for some organizations, it's the largest donation they have ever received. So rather than taking $52 million and donating it in one fell swoop to a huge organization, they went on this unique mission of gifting $1 million a week to these small nonprofits. Because Hale said there are so many vital, impactful, smaller organizations in our communities that need our help. And when you realize that you're helping other people who are then going to help other people, makes you feel good. That's a gift that we can actually get. So super amazing what people can do. Really, it's inspiring to me and to Ruzanna. Strategy that's used by the wealthy, and it's a tax strategy. So I want to tell you a couple of nitty-gritty details about tax strategy here. There's a lot of charitable contributions that you can do to reduce your tax liability. So for me and my family, we have been donating to our church. We donate 10% of our revenue, of our income, to our church. And that donation can then be written off on your taxes, right? So I think we all have that basic understanding, is that you can donate to a church or to a charitable organization, and then you can write it off. But there's actually many more layers to this tax strategy that you can use. So you can use charitable contributions to reduce your capital gains tax liability by donating your long-term appreciated assets. Not only can you deduct the fair market value of what you give from your income taxes, so you get it deducted from your income taxes, you also minimize the capital gains tax that could be up to 20%. Assets that are subject to capital gains tax, they can include investments like stocks, mutual funds, or hard assets like real estate. And so you can donate those assets. So if you're thinking about donating and you're in a position to be able to donate large amounts of money, instead of selling your asset, like your stocks and bonds or your real estate, you donate it instead. Because if you sold it, so say you sell it for $500,000, then you'd have to pay capital gains tax on it. And so then you reduce the amount of money that you can then contribute to the charitable contribution. Instead, you donate the entire asset, then you don't have to pay the capital gains tax. So that charity gets much more than if you would have sold it first, then donated. Then you can thereby reduce your tax liability on your income taxes according to the fair market value of what you have. Here's another tax strategy. Did you know you can create your own personal charitable giving fund? This is called a donor advised fund. It's a charitable entity, and the key benefit to this is flexibility. If you fund a donor advised fund, then you get to claim an immediate charitable tax deduction, and then you recommend when to distribute the money to your favorite charities on a timetable that works for you. While you decide how to best give that financial support, the funds in your donor advised fund are invested and have the potential to grow. And any growth, this is so cool, is tax-free, which enables you to give even more to the causes that are close to your heart. Using that example, so say we have a couple, their name is Jack and Diane, right? They could make a $30,000 gift to their donor advised fund, and they get a benefit from the charitable income tax deduction this year, right? So they gift that $30,000 and then they can write that off on their taxes. They could then distribute $10,000 to charities annually from the donor advised fund, which maintains a pattern of giving. This is so cool, my friend. You open up this fund, you put money into it. That $30,000 gift into the fund can turn into $10,000 a year forever, rather than just $30,000 to the charity, and that's what they get. So really consider this strategy when you are ready to start giving and giving in a meaningful way. I want to tell you about another really cool strategy for giving, and it's called a giving circle. So what's a giving circle? Giving circles are a form of collective giving, where groups of people get together, they pool their individual contributions to create a much larger gift, which potentially makes a greater impact. And this way of giving not only enables people to increase their impact, but it helps them increase their knowledge because they're learning with each other. It's fun because you're doing it in community, and you get to connect with your local community. And collective giving like this has just exploded in popularity. It's grown to more than 2,000 circles, and there's been 150,000 people joining over the last 2 decades. Now, it's funny when I was researching this and they say that it's exploded in popularity. I don't think that's exploding. 2,000 with 150,000 people can do better than that. We can absolutely do better than that and continue to grow these. So a really simple example of a giving circle is my own family. Usually with my husband and his extended family, we do a cousin gift exchange where we spend about $10 per cousin and then $50 per couple. And, we like mix it up and my kids give to this other kid and we all share it around. And it's been really fun while the kids were young and grown. But now that they're grown up and a lot of them are starting to enter their own adult years, we were having a discussion. Well, what should we do? Should we just continue the same tradition or should we try something different this year? Well, we decided to try something different. We decided that this year we wanted to pool our money to donate to a family in need. Within my own family, right, I have 5 children. So that's about $10 per child that we would be spending on one of the cousins. And then my husband and I, we would give to one of the other couples in the family, which is another $50. We put that together and that's $100 from our family. So our family could go and donate $100 to a charity or to an organization or whatever. But if we pool our money with the other families, we now have over $400 to provide Christmas gifts for another family. That gets a little bit more impactful. We could provide an entire Christmas for a small family. Now, my favorite aspect of a giving circle is that they're multi-dimensional, meaning they create community, they help to bridge divides, they promote diversity, and they create a lot of opportunities for engagement in your community. I mean, it provides a setting in which anyone, regardless of who they are or how much they have to give, can effectively participate. Sometimes we feel like our donations are small. Maybe we can only afford $10 and our $10 doesn't feel very meaningful. But if we are in a giving circle with 50 other people and they all do $10, that's $500. Now that can be significant. Now let's maximize this, right? Because I know you have more than $10 that you can give. What if we all give $1,000 and there's 50 of us? Suddenly we have $50,000 to impact an organization. This is what's so powerful and so exciting about giving circles. And then the other cool thing that happens with these giving circles is that members often organize group volunteer activities, events, and actions to really raise awareness about issues that they support. So it really promotes more thoughtful, intentional, informed, and ethical giving. And this is where I think it's so beautiful. Giving circles is something that Ruzanna and I are going to launch with our Primetime Wealth Academy, as we're going to have our own giving circle. And you know what the first goal of that giving circle is? To give $1 million. That giving circle, we want to collectively give $1 million first. And then we're going to expand that to be able to give $1 million personally on our own. Okay, now I know there's skeptics out there. And if you're a skeptic also, there's people that would say, well, I'd give like that too if I had a lot of money, right? Like the example of Oprah Winfrey. Well, if I was Oprah and I had $1 billion, I would give 50 million easy. That would be so easy to do. Now, that's a pretty cynical attitude. And it's really not true, because God is looking for people who can be faithful in small things that he can then trust with big things. So you have to prove yourself with the little things so that you can do a lot more. Now, one of the most amazing wealth builders in history is John D. Rockefeller. And he said this about tithing. He said, I never would have been able to tithe the first $1 million I ever made if I had not tithed my first salary, which was $1.50 per week. So I think God really likes it when we take the small things that we have and do the most with it. I know I will never be able to give away millions of dollars unless I'm continually trying to stretch my giving muscles with what I have now. Because true fulfillment comes from giving, not getting. I mean, things are nice, but at the end of the day, it's much more valuable to be able to positively affect someone's life. My encouragement to you and to myself is that we start small And this is the simple strategy. If you want to be able to give $1 million in your lifetime, start now. Start giving what you can now. It doesn't matter how much or little you make. It doesn't matter how much debt you have. It doesn't matter how much education you have. Regardless of what you have, how you handle what you have in front of you determines what happens next. We just have to use what God has given us and start moving in the right direction. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm so excited about this new direction we have here at the Quiet Wealth podcast and from our Primetime Wealth Academy, and what we are building to have a movement around people who are real givers. Hope that you will continue to join us on this journey, and please share this episode with someone you know and love. Thanks so much. Bye for now.